market conditions moving back to bearish in a bull market with that move yesterday with some resistance on the major markets. We're seeing momentum shifting back down to that bearish trend zone, also seeing breadth weaken. Sentiment didn't move much yesterday. We'll see if we get any kind of a move on that today. Buy-sell ratio did move a little bit here. This is a pattern we've been talking about where we had this initial move similar to last summer, and we had that real big acceleration, some widening of the buy-sell ratio, and then it contracted back closer together again, and then it starts to move away from each other like this right here. So we'll see if we're running into this next phase of downtrend right here. We're seeing sentiment, which is also now below this 50% line and running into that resistance area here as well. So now similar to over here, we're in that downtrending versus in the upper end of that range, above that 50% line. And that certainly affects, in addition to all of these other bearish indicators, just adds to that trending indicator. S&P 500, if we take a look at the major markets, we're seeing that resistance area that we were talking about right here around that 507 range, and talking about whether or not we're going to see that resistance. That resistance is when it's coming, it's trying to attempt to break out, trying to attempt to move back up, but there are a lot of sellers that are sitting there waiting to either, sell and capitalize off of gains they wanted to back here in the downtrend versus setting up anything new. We've got a Fed update today, and we'll see if that ends up moving the market. But that's a solid bearish down day right here, moving us back into that sell zone. We're in that long-term uptrend. That's that bullish market that we're still in, but we're just retracing. And we certainly, in an uptrend, we can retrace pretty deeply. In the update that I did yesterday, we talked about that little bit longer time frame, going out a year on that 1 year time frame. We're bouncing. We're still in that momentum zone, so we could test and retest that 500 range on SPY and still be in the momentum zone on that 1 year time frame. But we could be running into something a little bit more like this again. That market top, it moved down, we get that bounce up, ultimately it rolls back down again. So this range right here, probably for the next 30 days or so, going to see some volatility, at least inside of this range, if not all the way down into that range. And I think today's Fed information is going to help the market decide what direction it ultimately wants to go right here. But we've definitely seen weakening. We didn't see a whole lot of improvement in bonds, still sitting in that solid downtrend, and really no indication here that the bond market knows what's going to be happening today either. We've seen sectors which are weakening. We had most of them in the hold range yesterday within the last couple of days, and they're moving back to that downtrend, back to that sell. And so that's just an acceleration, again, another confirmation of the other indicators that are bearish currently as well. It just means be cautious. It means lower your position size. It means increase your cash levels and make your allocations a little bit smaller right here, if not at all. Now, there are certainly some bearish strategies you can utilize with inverse ETFs, other things like that are inside the system as well. Commodities, gold, slipping just here a little bit back down below that 236 location. Also seeing USO, which is oil, attempting to find some support right here after 3 days of downtrend. We'll see if we get any strength in that today or not. Muscle Stocks Group, seeing a decent list of names. We're seeing medical and biotech still popping in there. VKTK, which is really volatile biotech, dealing in the weight loss area, I believe. You're seeing certainly some interest there, and seeing Summit Therapeutics, medical drugs, biotech. Keep an eye on those patterns. Nothing too spectacular today. And again, when you have these down days, just be cautious, building out watch lists and watching for opportunities that you may want to look at. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.